first 100K in a month?
That was my first 100K in a month. The day it happened was on my birthday. I went to the club. Literally, I am in the club and I see my sales go from 99,000. No, was it like 99,900, whatever it was, to 100K. I was like, yes! If you go all in on a deal and it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, you have the resilience to be able to live through it, because if you just keep going, you will be successful. Now, the more specific you can be with your offer, if you understand marketing, the better you can deliver and the higher price you can charge, because now you can, from a premium price perspective, really serve that person at a deeper level. If you're trying to use this ego to make some of the decisions, they're going to be ego driven and they may not be sound decisions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the On Pursuit Podcast. We're in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
I'm super excited because it feels like home. I woke up next to the water. I seen boats and jet skis. You know what I'm saying? People parasailing and all of that. It feel real good. The vibes was vibrant. I'm sitting right next to my guy. We met. Well, I feel like I met him before he even knew about me. But he'll tell you a little bit about his story. But we actually met also through a mutual friend in Atlanta.
Yep.
This guy right here, he knows so much about financial literacy. He built a company, My Money EDU. You know, he's Mr. Savvy, Mr. Money Savvy, I should say.
Amen.
And also, you said you're a strategist and some sort around
here,
right?
Yeah, I'm a financial planner by trade. So, You know, I've been in the industry since 2007, but my most recent company, My Money EDU, we really focus on showing people how to leverage their credit to build wealth. That's the big part of it.
So off camera, you was telling me how 2016 is where you started it.
Yeah, at first it was KenneyConwell.com, and then I transitioned it from KenneyConwell.com right about 2018 to MyMoneyEDU.com.
So MyMoneyEDU.com to me speaks to like money education, financial education.
You got it.
So prior to you getting into that heavy or starting that, you know, right after KenneyConwell.com, where were you at 2015?
That's a good question. So like in 2015, like when I started in the financial service industry in 2007. Okay. Like, and
insurance?
Yeah, with insurance. Okay. So I started.
Still licensed?
I still am licensed.
Okay, a couple states?
I think I got like 3 or 4 states. Okay. I don't sell insurance at all anymore, but I'm still licensed. Yeah. But I was at one point I was licensed in 49 states.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
What's the state you wasn't licensed in?
But probably.
Alaska?
Yeah, I think it was Alaska. I wasn't licensed in Hawaii. But I think, it was Alaska. But I was licensed in all, 50 states, fast forward. But I started in 2007. And then what I realized from insurance became a financial advisor, financial planner, so to speak. But when you start in that industry, you start with insurance, then you learn cash flow. And a big part of going through that journey to kind of like not go too deep into it is I realized when I was because I moved from North Carolina to Atlanta in 2013.
So you're a North Carolina boy.
Yeah, I would say that. But I didn't grow up in North Carolina, but I spent most of my time in North Carolina. Gotcha. But yeah, so when I was in Atlanta, I had to start. It was like starting from scratch. So I had hit rock bottom in business, and although in 2010 was a financial advisor, still was, I didn't officially get into like financial planning to where I had my licenses to do it until like 2014. Gotcha. So, but that's what I realized when I was selling insurance to old seniors. I was like, man, I've got all these other people who are hitting me up about finances and like they want help with like the cash flow and stuff. And it was real difficult to meet somebody where they were, because when you're a financial advisor, as you know, you get paid to sell insurance and investments. But what if somebody needs help with the cash flow? What if somebody needs help with the credit? And then I was like, well, I need to create some type of digital platform where I can still help them without me giving my time, and then monetize it from a digital product. And then when they need that other stuff, whatever the other stuff may be, then I can take them on that journey.
Did you figure that out just on your own, or did you have some insight as far as like building out online financial education?
It was a combination of both. It was like, first, I got tired of dealing with unqualified leads. So it's like, if we go back to just 2009, when I graduated from A&T going into 2010, I was primarily selling life insurance and then started to transition into financial planning.
Gotcha.
Then when I started learning financial planning, I would meet with somebody 3-4 meetings before I can even make a recommendation for them because they needed help with their budget or they needed help with their cash flow, or their credit was messed up, their DTI, whatever it was. And I only got paid to sell an investment product.
You had to like get them ready. It's kind of like real estate where like I might take you to see 20 houses if I'm an agent.
Right.
I don't get paid for none of that until the house you choose.
Right.
That deal actually goes through.
Correct. And then, so it was very similar. So I was like, you know what, there's going to be a better way to do this because when you got paid, you got paid. Like if you got a nice client, you might get a, $10,000, $15,000 deal, boom. But all that other work you didn't get paid for. So that's kind of like how it started. I was like, well, what if I were to create a process where instead of me doing all those meetings, because you still got to create cash, right? You still got to sell. At the time I still had to sell. But what if I was to, instead of doing that, drive them to something to get them to buy and then take them through a process. But before I even got to that point, I took some marketing training back in the day. And the basis of that training was you have vitamins and you have pain pills.
Gotcha.
People don't like to buy vitamins.
Even though they need them.
They will always buy a pain pill. So I try to figure out what would be a good pain pill that would be super relevant to somebody. And going through that entrepreneurship journey of moving down from North Carolina to Atlanta, I messed up my credit because I went all in on this business deal. I was supposed to make $100,000 in one transaction. Didn't go through, trashed my credit, had to get a job. So when I first moved to Atlanta, I had a job.
Where'd you work?
This place called Get Insured. That's when I got all those additional licenses. So I was already selling insurance and then selling insurance and financial services. But then when I hit rock bottom, one of the things entrepreneurs should know, don't stop doing the daily activities that make you your quick cash and don't get caught up on chasing the big deal because when the big deal don't go through, you stop your activity. Now you ain't got no bread coming.
Start all over.
Right. And, but Get Insured was the job I got. And I was like literally selling insurance over the phone and then part-time building this financial business.
So you said you hit rock bottom. Was that rock bottom that deal, or did something happen prior to
That's
that
a good
deal
question.
that led you to feeling that or being physically in the rock bottom space?
Yeah. So in 2012, so
we was at 2015. So we're gonna
go back. We're gonna go back. So because this will paint that picture. So in 2011, as a self-employed financial advisor, I think I made like $70,000.
So $70,000 is actually not bad if you look at the medium average of
right.
I think it's like just at 51 2023.
And that was $70,000. So going into it, and that was like not a salary. That was straight me hustling, right? And that's when I was still always learning about leads and marketing and all of that stuff. So going into 2012, I was like, yo, I want to make 6 figures.
Gotcha.
So I pieced together this deal that was supposed to make me like $100,000 in one trade. Well, it was one for $100,000, another one for $50,000, but the big one was supposed to be $100,000. And going into like March of that year, I'm like, yo, I think I can make this happen. So I'd already made probably up to like March, like $15,000, $16,000 for that year.
Okay, for 3 months.
For those 3 months, because I had real good momentum, but I started to put everything into this deal. So I leveraged my credit. I leveraged other people's money. And then when it was supposed to happen, it was supposed to close in August. It didn't go through, bro. So now here I am over leveraged because I stopped making the cash flow because I was assuming that deal that took 4 months was going to close, didn't close. Car almost went up for repossession. Credit went to trash, with the shit. And then I was like, yo, I got to get a job.
So what did you feel like emotionally at that point? Because if the car's about to go to repossession, are you dodging phone calls? Are you parking the car at other people's places? Like what was do you remember what that felt like?
Hell yeah, combination of both. I did both of those things.
Yeah.
So
switch off the license plates.
I didn't do that. So my homie, we traded cars. So my other homie, he lived in another city. He lived in Fort Mill. Okay. Because this is when I was still in Charlotte. And I lived in downtown Charlotte. So I was like, yo, bro, let me borrow your car for a couple of weeks. You're going to drive my car, I'm going to drive your car. And that's how I did it for a few weeks. And I moved to another spot that I didn't have there. But it didn't feel good, man, because coming August going into September, my lease was up at my current spot. Yeah. And me and my business partner at the time and my friend, we were roommates. And going into September, I couldn't pay my half of the rent. Yeah. So it got so bad, bro. I had to like humble myself and move in with my parents.
Gotcha.
And that sucked, bro. Like I was like,
How old were you?
I was like at this time, this was back in, I was no, not 30. I'm 37 now. This was like 12 years ago. So I was like 11,
25?
yeah, 25. I was 25 years old. So I had just turned 25. I remember I was broke as hell. I couldn't even afford my birthday dinner. At 25, like rock bottom. And I'm like, yo, I got to get a job. So that feeling was a feeling of defeat. To answer your question, a feeling of, like, damn, do I really need to not do this entrepreneurship stuff? But it taught me something. It taught me, don't get so caught up in the big deal, one, and always stay consistent with the daily activities to create cash.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And throughout that process, I realized that it's totally cool if you got to humble yourself and get a job and get really good at cash flow. Because the other kicker is although you may be a financial person, or which I'm still a financial person. Being a financial person and managing your finances as an entrepreneur, whether it's the self-employed stage or the business owner stage or the exit stage, you have to have a good handle on your cash flow. You got to. Yeah. And it's even harder when you have inconsistent income. So that was another thing that taught me, like, yo, you got to be really, really clear with your cash, and you got to keep your highs low and your lows high. That's when I learned that principle. So even though now, I might make, a lot of money, like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 a month, I still try to keep my lows and my highs even keel. Yeah. So that way, when I'm doing well financially, I do well financially. That was a big lesson I learned then going into my new journey, because I'm like, yo, if I don't have a handle on cash, whether it's inconsistent or consistent, because you know how entrepreneurship is, you can have a huge month, but just because you had a huge month that month doesn't mean that you're going to always have a huge month. So that was like a big lesson it taught me, and I was grateful for that. And that coupled with don't go all in on the big deal. Do a big deal, have a big deal come in, but still have your baseline revenue, your baseline hits, your baseline lead flow, your baseline appointments always. And if you get a big deal to come through on top of what you already have going on, then you're good.
So I want to circle back to something, and then I'm going to ask you the same question again.
Okay.
But I also want to talk about that even kill. So when you were feeling a rock bottom as a man, innately, what did that feel like, right? Because there's certain things I feel like men want to do that's going to define who we are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It might be protect, provide, make sure that you are secure in finances. What were some of the things for you, and what did I feel like for you just as a man?
As a man, I felt like I didn't feel like, I don't sound like saying, I didn't feel like I was a man, because I had to, for a temporary stint, move back in with my parents.
Got you. And
you know what I mean?
Like ego-wise, did you feel?
Oh, ego was demolished. He was like, dang, like it's got to work or it's got to work. But I was grateful for that experience, because one of the things I've realized about entrepreneurship is the higher you go, it's less about kind of some of the tactical things and more about humbling yourself. And entrepreneurship is a mirror. So it's like, man, if I would have went into it with that level of ego that I possessed then, and I would have carried forward that same mentality in business, it probably could have been a bigger disaster. Yeah. So I was grateful that it happened at a young age, and I was able to learn from it, because although I did have to humble myself, I realized that it's totally cool, and it's fine when you do that, because I call it the life school. The life school is trying to teach you a lesson. And if you see a lesson, there's no such thing as a loss. It's a lesson, and it's on how you view it. So although that moment, that's how I felt like it felt. Looking at it in hindsight, I'm super grateful for that experience, because it really cemented some foundational things in me that made me realize that, hey, listen, if you go all in on a deal and it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, you have the resilience to be able to live through it, because if you just keep going, you will be successful. Gotcha. You just have to have the resilience.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring that back forward in a little bit, right? Okay? Because I know it's different now. So when you talk about keeping the highs high, the lows low, and being that even keel, what does that actually mean? Because I want them to understand as far as keeping the momentum up.
Yeah.
Cash flow, being able to really have a grip on those waves. So what does that actually mean?
What I like to help people understand as an entrepreneur is you should follow what I call like the profit first system.
Oh, okay. From that book?
Yeah, from the book. Yeah. You read the book? Yeah. So I would say if you can
And I'll put the link down there for y'all so y'all can check that out for sure.
Yes, I think if you can like implement that in your cash flow, then it forces you to be super intentional about the money you're making. So I would say like that's a basis. But then also knowing like if you do paid advertising, which you don't have to, but if you do, whatever type of mechanism you use to generate leads, you need to know how many leads it's going to take you to get a qualified customer.
Okay.
So you can identify what your customer acquisition cost is, and then you can kind of back into it to know, okay, well, if I, for example, I spend money on ads, if I spend, $1,500 on ads or $2,000 on ads, how many leads am I going to get from that? And then from how many calls am I going to get, so on and so forth. So that way you can have like a baseline. But from a profit first standpoint, just because again, your business made $50K in gross revenue in a 2-week time frame, that's not all your money. So if you follow that profit first system, hey, look, I'm gonna put a certain amount towards operations, I'm gonna put a certain amount towards profit, I'm gonna put a certain amount towards taxes, and I'm gonna pay myself a certain amount. Mm-hmm. Most entrepreneurs, for that experience, is they don't even know how much to pay themselves. Yeah. So now they get the temporary rich feeling when they get paid, or if they get a couple of deposits, right? So they're like, oh man, I got this big deal to go through, or I had all these deals go through, I did a challenge, whatever it is, and you got all that bread coming to you, and you're like, yo, I'm good for a couple of days, and you start to coast, right? You get that entrepreneurship coast, and you just like, yo, I'm good, I'm Gucci, and you just like, you stop doing the daily activities because you don't got your enterprise. So when you really look at the numbers, in my experience, it forces you to say, you know what? This is all I have to live off of. Although the business is my business, the business's money is not my money. My money is my money, right? And I think that's like another helpful thing that people can do.
What's up, y'all? I'm standing in the middle of the street and I'm willing to risk it all because I want you to grow, whether through paid or organic measures. Over the next 5 days, the Audience Growth Challenge, we're going to be teaching you podcast guesting strategy, video marketing strategy, social media, predictable viral creation strategies, the power of radio and digital PR. And these strategies are what you need to grow your business over the next 4, 6, 9, even 12 months to skyrocket your success. So if you want to join the challenge, all you got to do is click the link below and join the Audience Growth Challenge and join it as a VIP. Let's get it.
I think that's super important. We really know that. And actually, this is something I kind of share with my community too. Like at the very least, if you take just like a small percentage on every certain deposit that comes in, that's going to allow you to have an emergency fund,
right,
investment fund,
right,
saving situation,
right.
And it does something actually to your mindset. When you look at your account, you're like, oh man, they're going up.
Correct.
I didn't even have these a couple months ago.
Right.
It's like, even though it's small but it's growing, you get that dopamine hit, and then you feel a little different because like, oh yeah, this deal's come through. I can calculate. Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And it just looks differently.
Right.
You know what I mean. So I think what you just shared there definitely provides some clarity. Because you're right, a lot of entrepreneurs are not, they're not separating the money. They do get that temporary feeling of like you said, like that temporary rich feeling, and they don't know how much to pay themselves, or they don't look at it that way. They do a deal about to cash out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of the things you mentioned was just like leads and ads, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you do ads. I began your emails in 2019. You know what I'm saying? I was introduced to you by a friend of mine, Erica Pinkett. She used to post your stuff a lot.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm about to show you her right now. And let me know if she look familiar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, Erica. Yeah, thank you so much.
Did you help her with her credit or something?
I don't know if I helped her with her credit, but she does look familiar. Because at that point though, that was when I had like a digital product, like it was straight digital, so it was a lower ticket product. So she probably did buy. I remember seeing his face, but she probably bought one of my digital, my lower ticket products that we didn't really do like Q&As and stuff at the time. Okay. But yeah, she does look super familiar.
Well, she's the reason why I know you.
That's dope.
Well, how I learned of you, I would say.
Okay.
So it sounds like you were doing some ads. You're doing a little bit of influencer marketing, or maybe people were just reposting because they were getting some results or something. But
didn't even realize I was influencing.
It was going out.
Yeah.
It was going out. So what's the value of getting in front of people, potentially do ads, marketing? You know what I'm saying? Why is that important as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think so. What I did at that time was I created something called a SLO or self-liquidating offer
Self-liquidating offer.
funnel,
Okay.
which means you want, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do this because you can still fundamentally do this with a sales call process. But essentially, the concept is you want to make sure when you're spending money on ads, you have a way to recoup your initial ad costs because at that point, advertising becomes free.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I created at the time, and that was a big part of going to what we were saying, you've got pain pills and then you have vitamins.
Gotcha.
The pain pill was, and you want your self-liquidating offer to be specific. You wanted to solve a specific problem for a specific person in a specific type of way.
Gotcha.
So when you're sending out your marketing message, you may have remembered, I was like, hey guys, and it's really good to, if you have credibility in the space, to use your personal story. All right. So at the time it was like, hey guys, my name is Kenney Conwell and I improved my credit score 224 points following these 3 simple strategies. I recorded this video, click the link below, go watch the training.
Gotcha.
Boom. They will go watch the training. And in that 5, I think it was like a 6 or 7 minute video, I was selling a specific person, someone who had bad credit, a specific pain pill, which was the Section 609 templates at the time. I still remember this. And this, no, it was the pain pill was fix your credit, and then the specific way was the Section 609 templates. And people would get that, and it was only $9. And at the time, this is like the wild, wild west of Facebook. Facebook's still awesome, by the way. But I was getting, some cases, a $9 customer for my cost per lead. I mean, my cost to acquire that customer was $5.
Gotcha.
So it cost me $5 to acquire a $9 customer.
So after they spent that $9, what happened?
At the time, when I first started, I had an upsell called the Credit Enhancement System.
Okay.
And I would upsell people for $47.
And was that another digital product?
It was another digital product.
Ebook or
It was
mini course?
it was like a mini course.
Okay. So they went from 9 to the 47.
Yep.
And then
I remember this like yesterday. Like this was when I was transitioning off of doing the insurance and then going digital. Right. So at first it was this 9 and 47. And then I ended up putting more value in my credit enhancement system and I increased it to $97.
Okay. So the same 47 ended up transitioning to 97. So you just improved it and didn't change the cost?
Yep.
But at this point it's still the same flow.
It was still the same flow because I realized that if I can acquire a customer for a smaller amount of money, they are 10 times more likely to buy from me again because I've already gotten them results. Or they already know, like, and trust me. So that same model, I literally just kept doing. And I still low-key do the same model to this day. I've just re-engineered it to incorporate more equity in the business. Yeah. That was it. So I just kept doing the same model. So literally from 2016, that's when I launched. So it was October this month, 2016 is when I first launched this ad. And we'll launch the funnel.
7 years ago.
Yep, 7 years ago. That's when I launched the funnel. And this was the month I was transitioning out of doing like insurance over the phone because I had created an agency to do that. And I went all digital. And this was KenneyConwell.com. So I even put a video out on YouTube and that video went viral. So
what was the video?
It was the three simple loopholes to improve your credit or something like that.
Okay, got you.
And it went literally viral back in the back then. And
did you have call to action in the video?
I had a call to action in the
that
it was that SLO funnel.
Yeah, I think that's smart, man.
So that video, that YouTube video, I didn't even know about monetizing YouTube. That video alone made me $100,000.
100%. Yeah.
Because that coupled with running the ads, right? So that's how I got a lot of the people. And then I just kept adding more value to that product because when you look at the metrics, let's look at it. If I spend $100 on ads that day and I have a $9 customer, but for simple math, let's just call it a $10 customer.
Okay.
That means I have to acquire 10 people to break even, right? Which is super simple if you have a specific avatar with a specific, and you're solving it in a specific way with a specific process, with those 3 things. It becomes very, very simple to say, you know what, I have this thing that will help you solve this thing immediately. Boom. Now you break even. Now, once you've broken even, what I've experienced is typically 10 to 40%. You know, I never got as high as 40%, but depending on how you can do it, 10 to 40% of those people are going to take you up on the next offer.
Okay, and that's the 97.
That's the 97, because you want to make sure there's this concept called splintering.
Okay.
So let's just say your core offer is a $5,000 program, and you've got all these bells and whistles from your core offer. Well, what you do is you splinter off a portion of your core offer. Your high ticket
core.
Yeah, core, same concept. You splinter off something. Okay, well, this is what the full thing gives me. I'm going to pluck this off and only sell that to start the relationship with a place where we know it's useful to get you XYZ result, but it's incomplete in terms of getting the full result of my core offer, my high ticket.
Gotcha.
So,
And that's still what the 97 did. That's what the 97 did.
correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. Well, at the time, it was more. So when I was just selling a template for clarity, and to put this in, this is why information is powerful. I literally made over $100,000 off of a Word document, but it was the information in the Word document. Yeah. And then that was splintered off from the full credit enhancement system at the time, which had way more templates. Right. And then that's how I kind of grew it. And then I created a higher ticket process from there. Where we'd upsell and say, hey, listen, at the time, and this is when I really transitioned from making 6 figures in a year to over 7 figures, is when I created my high ticket, which it's no longer high ticket, but to me it was high. $2,500 was a high ticket. Well, at first I wasn't even confident to charge $2,500. I was charging $1,500 because I went from selling a $97 product to increasing it to $197 to increasing it to 3 payments at $97. I started paying with payment plans at the time to now having a $1,500 offer.
And a $1,500 offer at that time, after that $97 offer, did you call them or was that still?
Yeah. We would call them.
Okay, so if I grabbed the 97, let's say I'm not.
We called the $9 people.
As you should.
Yeah.
But I'm in your flow. If I grab that 9 or the 97, I get a call at some point.
Yep, you get a call or
workflow, so I get a call.
Yeah, you get a call, or we can just say, hey, look, congratulations on purchasing the credit enhancement system. Customers, it wasn't this smooth at the time, but we would just basically say something like, go into the Facebook group, and if you need help, because it was a complete DIY, I didn't want to be a part of the done for you. Because it was a pure digital product, I wanted to spend a little bit of time, and this fast forward is in 20, I think this was like 2017. Going into, no, this was actually 2018. Yeah, 2018. 2018 is when I decided to, what's it, all these years are kind of grown, kind of being mixed in. All I know is I was doing the digital product and I introduced the done for you product. And the way we would position to say, hey, listen, if you want our help with this, we have a pure done for you. And then it's going to be way more. And there's why I had to pay this much? Well, you don't have to. This is only for those people who don't have the time. And then we would do the done for you. And that's how we started doing the high ticket. So we would really just pitch it as, hey, just sign up for the DIY. And if you don't like the DIY, you need help, well, you can hire us. You can do it for us. Yeah. I mean, we can do it for you. And that's really how, I'm just trying to remember, did I introduce that done for you in 2019? No, it was 2018. Okay. Yeah, it was 2018 when I introduced the done for you, because I had met this dude named Boniface.
Oh yeah.
And I had met Boniface, and I was doing about $50K a month with just the low ticket model I told you. And then when I met him in 2018, he showed me how to do some deeper ad stuff that I didn't know how to do at the time. And then in September, it was literally, I met him at the end of August, beginning of September. And then literally in September, I had my first $100,000 month. And that was before we introduced the high ticket.
Got you.
Right. So it was at that point, that month, when I generated $100,000. Now, mind you, this was $100,000 off of a $9.97 customer.
While running ads.
Yeah, while running ads. Yeah. Right. And then we introduced that done for you product. So we really had a lot of customers that we generated in that small funnel that we went back to upsell to our done for you. And then I did like I think a shade room post that I learned from him. He's like, go to shade room and pay for the shade room post. And then I did, and I got like a shit ton of customers. I mean,
you doing some awesome shout out pages too.
yeah, I didn't realize it was shadow page at the time, but yeah.
So okay. So 2 questions I got for you. First question is 100K month 2018. What did I feel like being that you weren't too far removed from having to be at rock bottom at your mom, at your parents' house. So that was a low.
Yeah.
100K. Was that the first 100K in a
That was
month?
my first 100K in a month. It felt good because it was the day it happened was on my birthday.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was the
2018.
it was my birthday,
30th?
bro. It was my 33rd birthday.
33rd.
Yep, 33rd birthday. 20 was that? That's 5 years ago. 32nd birthday.
Okay.
32nd birthday. So I had just turned 32, and I'm at my parents' house in Georgia, and I had a whole busy day, but my parents had this dinner for me, so I go way out to see them, and I got the balloons. But before I got there, I went to the club, some club somewhere in Buckhead, and it was somebody else's celebration. But literally, I am in the club, and I see my sales go from 99,000. No, was it like 99,900, whatever it was, to 100K? I was like, yes.
You went crazy.
I was like, dang, I hit it, man. I hit it. I was like, shit, man, like this is dope. So it was complete night and day, because at that point I'm like, yo, this is like a legit business model. And I got to pay homage. I learned that tripwire funnel from Digital Marketer, Ryan Dice. That's like one of my, I've got 3 really great mentors that I've learned like how to create products from and do marketing from. Arguably, Ryan Dice is number, like, from a marketing perspective, and then Sam Ovens.
Yeah,
Sam, I learned so much from Sam. Like, he just took that offer funnel that I just broke down and showed me how to create it inside of an automated webinar. Same exact thing, but now the prices are, instead of, we're talking about $100, we're talking about $2,000. So low key, I would say, Brian Dice, Sam, I would even credit marketing to Boniface too, because Boniface is who actually encouraged me to go buy Sam's stuff, because he was one of Sam's students. Yeah, so he was like, Kenny, like you need to just buy Sam's stuff. Yeah. And matter of fact, I think I ended up buying Sam's stuff, but Boniface just looked out and let me use his Sam Elvin stuff. But I would say all of those things really, really helped me kind of like get a real good grasp on not just the marketing, but the marketing, the business, the funnel, the fulfillment, all that stuff.
Yo, so is it important for product-based and service-based entrepreneurs to understand marketing?
Heck yeah, man.
Is it important for them to like understand this digital landscape?
Yes, I would say so, because if we just look at this, like, let's look at what I broke down. So when I was able to acquire all of those customers pretty much at cost. So I didn't have to pay for those customers. They paid to become a customer of mine.
Yeah. Which is genius.
Right. So now you don't have a marketing budget, right? But then on top of that, it's like you can, and this is something else that I've realized, like nowadays, like marketing is marketing, but now the more specific you can be with your offer, if you understand marketing, the better you can deliver and the higher price you can charge, because now you can, from a premium price perspective, really, really serve that person at a deeper level. So when I look at, I don't remember all the numbers and all the stats off the top of my head, but I know in 2020 is when I did the automated webinar. Okay. So I want to kind of.
I was in there too one time.
True.
Yeah, I was in it too one time.
So to kind of give you, we'll use a product-based business. So at DIY, I went to done for you. So all of 2019 was done for you. And 2019 is when I had my first $1 million. Yeah.
What was the price point that it done for you?
It was at first it was $1,500. Yeah. Then we increased to $2,500, and then we ended up we were still doing the low ticket. So we still kept doing the low ticket funnel because that was already proven, and we just upsell those people to our done for you. And that's when I hit my first 7 figures. But that year was so stressful, because that was a year I hired a lot of friends to work in my company, people that I knew, liked, and trust. So I had a lady that, not even a lady, my ex was working for my company. 3 of my homeboys was working for my company. Like, I'm paying them money, and it was a lot. And I realized that not even past, I learned a few things. If you get upset with a team member, you either did a bad job hiring them or you did a bad job training them.
No facts.
And that was because I thought at the time, oh, here's $5K a month. I have nothing else to do. Mm-hmm. I'm out. And I quickly realized that just because you can pay somebody, if they're not qualified to do that role, should you be mad at them?
Yeah, no facts.
Right.
I can empathize with that because I've been there too, from like hiring, let's say, friends or whatever the case may be, paying them a certain amount of money, and then like if the deliverable is not where I want it to be, like feeling a way about them, but it's really because that leadership or that
Correct
there,
Correct.
or they just weren't a good fit for that seat, whatever the case is.
And that's a tough pill to swallow.
I understand, man. I mean, it forces you to get better as a leader, as a CEO, as someone that's training or hire someone to train,
Right.
or just improve your deliverables and your skills overall, and even just with meetings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you doing meetings? Are you doing daily huddles? A couple times a week huddles? Like,
Right.
So yeah.
Are you looking at the numbers? And like with the daily huddle thing, it's so relevant because what I realized was at that time, I'm like, man, like I can't even really get upset with them whole time because, and that was the other part of what I was really getting at in that me bringing this up about 2019 when I had my first 7-figure year, I was also working 70, 80 hours a week.
Gotcha. So you was going in.
Yeah, it was tough. So going into 2020 and then really eventually 2021, that's when I said, and really I think it was right around COVID time, I started to revamp my entire system, and I leveraged credit at that time, being in credit. I got a Stripe working capital loan back in 2019. It was $25,000, and I used that $25,000 to 2 things. First thing was to rebuild my infrastructure digitally so I could own my own platform for My Money EDU. Okay. So I always wanted to own my own platform so I can exit or sell my company. The second thing I did, I took the remaining, it was $15K for the web development and then $10K to hire like some setters and closers from Dan Locke. Okay. So going into 2020, we still did the done for you, but going into 2020, I didn't want to rely solely on just the sales team I had. I wanted to have like an outside sales team. And then that's when I really had like outside sales reps closing my deals. But then it was still the bottleneck of the done for you. Like, cause every time you would get customers, you would still have to fulfill on those customers. And then I learned about agreements. Then I learned about all these other things about just putting operations in place, systems in place, standard operating procedures in place, having right roles, and then not trying to force roles to be in a role that they have no business in. So going into end of 20, and I still made 7 figures that year, but going into the end of 2020, 2021, I said, you know what? And this is the other gem I want to drop about the product-based business, because you asked this question, product-based and service-based. I would not have been able to create my coveted 700 Credit Score Academy digital done with you product that I went out to scale up to like $200,000-$300,000. Well, at its highest, I made about $200,000 from that product alone, which was a digital done with you product that showed people how to fix, build, and improve their credit without us doing the work. But I had to go through all of that stuff in a product-based business to really figure out what are the phases a customer has to go through to truly improve, fix, and then leverage their credit. So that's how I was able to, through that trial and error, create a damn good product that people got a lot of results from, and then scale that. So I took that same methodology. So instead of us having to fulfill on the product was just so daggone good where it was step by step by step by step as if it was done with you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And then I took that same concept, and instead of having the low ticket initially, we just sold the automated webinar.
Man, so you just really just gave a digital product masterclass right there, scaling it up. You know what I'm saying? If people pay attention, they can really understand at least the framework of how they can take whatever category they're in, take that information, turn that into a product, and then how they can leverage the digital side to generate more revenue, or just an additional side of revenue than actually physically going and serving every single client.
Right.
And not gonna be able to scale up to the same amount, have the 6-figure month potentially if you're literally touching every single client. You need the digital side to
Right.
you give some leverage.
You do. And then on top of that, just to kind of clarify, it's like if you have a digital product on the front end or a self-liquidating offer on the front end, you create a done for you product or service, you can actually systemize that done for you to a done with you. And then now once that's scalable, you can now create a higher ticket product from that product, which my higher ticket product ended up being business credit, business structure, holding companies, all that stuff. So we were able to now productize our done for you and spend more of our time on a newer high ticket, because we had already solidified that that product in itself. So, and you just kind of keep evolving, because, if you now have that one systematized, those same exact customers, really what happened for me, what I realized was my low ticket, which you should still have one, my low ticket ended up becoming my high ticket ended up becoming low key my low ticket. And then another thing I can say that I've done now is I got affiliate offers with other relevant product lines for people building up credit. And then I realized most recently, really at the end of like 2021, 2022, I should probably start my own credit monitoring company. So instead of sending them to Credit Karma and Experian, I can send them to my own credit monitor, because they're going to need credit as well. And then I realized that those individuals, that actually becomes a really good low ticket, because now if they need to monitor their credit when they're fixing their credit or leveraging their credit or getting funding, before we even get to that, we got to view their credit report. So now that becomes a more monetizable low ticket, because before it was a digital low ticket. So the other thing to consider here as a digital entrepreneur is what other service or monthly recurring revenue thing is your business referring out
That you can
make your own.
white label, have it your own, or make it.
Yeah, white label will be even better. So if you can white label something that you're outsourcing, how do you now make that your new tripwire or your new self-liquidating offer? Because think about it. If I'm getting a customer for $9, that's a one-time transaction. But if I get a customer that's willing to subscribe for $1 trial and then pay me $29.99 a month or $49.99 a month, now that one customer has the potential to stick with me for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, depending upon the LTV or the lifetime value of that product. Yeah. This is also not including any other additional upsells that will be relevant to their journey. So that was the other aha or epiphany I had was, you know what? We probably could, at the start of our relationship, start to get people their credit reports and then start to monetize there, but also go within our existing products and say, you got to pull your credit report to fix your credit, go here. Right. So thinking about what that thing could be in your business, whatever that business may be, can be super powerful.
I think you gotta rebrand, bro. You just ain't the financial guy, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what y'all think? Like you're a strategist.
True.
You're a strategist, bro. So yes, you got the finances, which we haven't even really talked about.
We ain't talking about nobody. Yeah.
You know the finances, the credit, right? You know the importance of leverage, you know what I'm saying, and having a financial plan and owning that plan and operating it, obviously profit first and the buckets and all that stuff. But you're teaching a lot of strategy, you're displaying a lot of strategy, and the way that you're discerning the process, and it allows you to get where you are now.
Right.
And it will help other people that are kind of like, they may be, entrepreneurs, but really just self-employed. Because they're,
right.
They may own their thing, but they're still trading time for dollars. Mm-hmm. But they're in control because they don't got to go to anyone.
Right.
But by leveraging digital products, by productizing their offer, and creating other offers, and then using this system, they'll now be able to really grow their businesses, their revenue, but then also have more time.
Right.
So I mean, I feel like you got to be branding a little bit.
What's interesting about that is like right about the end of 2022, because we're in 2023 now. Yeah. That's when I decided to put together, and I really didn't like go full-fledged with it because it was a couple of things I was doing at the time. So I had I agree. And I did create what I will call a co-brand partnership of my entire business model.
Gotcha.
So, and I really haven't gone full-fledged with that.
Is that just for people that are in the credit space?
Well, at first I was going to do the credit space, but I'm really realizing that I do my best work with money people, really digital entrepreneurs and financial people, or people in the financial services industry, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Those two, because I've already done it and I know from experience what it takes to monetize it. So although I'm not going to disagree with you, I probably can start to position and brand to target those people.
Because you got a couple of them.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. But we haven't even gotten into the money side of the business because there's like a whole nother thing with that in terms of helping people get capital and all of that. But I do agree. Yeah. Like, it's something I've thought about, like, straight up.
I mean, 2023 going to 2024, I think,
because I got a program right now. I haven't really put it out there yet.
I think it's just something that you just have to, embrace a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, like, this is going to sound super weird. I haven't hit 7 figures in a month, man. And that was like my goal was to hit 7 figures in 1 month.
How far are you from that, you would say?
Probably now with the new process, I would say probably about anywhere between 5 to 6 from hitting it, but I'm not going to say it's difficult. What I've realized is just a different level of thinking for me at this point.
Have you gotten a 2-combo club award?
I probably should get one, but I never really use ClickFunnels.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. I have the credentials to get a 2-comma. Yeah. But I just never used ClickFunnels. I used it a little bit, but I could have been got a 2-comma club back in 2019. But at the time, I wasn't using ClickFunnels. I was using some other funnel builder.
Gotcha.
So.
What's up, y'all? Listen, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you juggling your email, your text messages, you don't have a CRM, you don't have any automation, you don't even have your social media posts scheduled, I have the solution for you. What you want to do is tap into the lead attraction system. This is an all-in-one system that's going to handle your text messaging, your email, your CRM, your invoices, get you paid, your digital products, your memberships, your courses, your funnels, and also it's an all-in-one solution. So you can get rid of all these other things. It's in one system. You pay one price every single month, and they also have a weekly office hours. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Tap into the platform and make sure that you grow your business. Lead attraction system. Grab the link below. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we should talk about money a little bit. And I feel like we have to because we went kind of crazy on the digital side, and we didn't we didn't plan it.
Yeah, we did.
And I just think just how the conversation went. I think it's super valuable for y'all to receive the information that you did receive, but at the same time, the money is really, really important. And you know why the money is important? I was just at Mastermind in St. Augustine, and I was around 2 billionaires and probably 20 multimillionaires. I definitely was probably one of a handful of people that weren't, I would say, the smartest people in the room. So I love being in rooms like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot. One of the things that I learned, it actually was, it was like a reiteration for me. And it was like your financial foundation, and like how if people don't learn certain financial principles and foundations, it's gonna be really tough for their families.
Yeah.
Just like cash flow, saving, investing, and protection, like your financial house. And it just made me think about like friends in my life, people that I connect with, people that I just kind of like see from a vantage point, and people aren't like, we don't learn that at school.
Yeah, we don't.
And people aren't. Those like the casual conversations. It's like, bro, you watching Jake Paul fight this weekend? That's the conversation. It's
True.
like, yo, it's the weekend. You trying to, and they like, yo, listen, man, I got insurance, right? You can leverage this insurance. We gotta borrow from. We don't even gotta go get the bank's money.
Whole time.
Right? You can invest. Like, you can get it from me, or or whatever.
Right.
And matter of fact, if something ever happens to your family, like, That's instant wealth.
Correct.
You need insurance, right? Do we have those conversations?
Yeah, most people don't talk about that.
Like, why I need life insurance? I. That's the conversation, right? But then when someone passes away,
Everybody's looking around.
Then you want to go get the GoFundMe,
Right.
right? So I'm just saying that to say for y'all, we gotta do another interview just on the money side. This has been super valuable. What you think?
I would agree. I know the conversation definitely took that turn because as an entrepreneur, it's like I've experienced personally, like I am a subject matter expert in my money, in my lane, but I also had to become a subject matter expert on how to build my business. Yeah. And a lot of what we talked about kind of just morphed into me talking about, hey, listen, this is what I have done. But I do agree, like the whole money side of things is super important because that's really what's allowed me to access capital. Yeah. Because if I didn't have a good financial situation, I wouldn't be able to get no bread for nobody. The bank would have been like, nah, bro, we ain't gonna give you no money. Yeah. So a big part of it, I like to say, I like how you said the financial foundation. I couple that to, especially in business, is structure. Yeah. So you want to make sure you are structured correctly. Like
your business structure.
Your business structure, right? Your business structure is like important. And then that can even tie into your personal structure too, because simply having life insurance is powerful, but do you have a will? Have you set up a trust?
Yeah, trust.
Is it super, you can set up a trust. Is it super clear about what's going to happen if you pass away? Do you own your company? Do you have subsidiary companies? Like, what's the tax ramifications of this? But it's all rooted into cash.
Yeah.
Cash flow. So
cash flow.
And I think a big part of what we talked about for an entrepreneur listening to us is what some strategies you can do, whether you're a digital entrepreneur, self-employed, or product-based entrepreneur, some of the things that you can implement to get cash flow. In my experience, typically the best place to reinvest is back in your business, so you can be thinking about the exit of your business. However, on the flip side of that, you want to be taking a portion of your cash flow and putting it into great places, right? Outside of the business. Okay, I've got the business that I'm betting on, but also where else can I put my money to grow? Typically it's, it depends on your appetite. It can be the stock market, it can be real estate. All of those things are really designed to help you start to build up wealth. But if we go back to it, most entrepreneurs, their number one wealth generating machine, which they don't realize, is their business.
Yeah, no fact.
So
they want to make the money, they put it in something else instead of like keeping that going.
Correct. So
super smart.
So it goes back to a good part of, okay, well, what are you focused on? Are you focused on adding value in your company to where you can exit it? Or are you focused on top line revenue? Because they're not the same. So if I'm focusing on truly adding value in my company, then I've got to identify, well, where am I at in business? Am I at the place of I'm just trying to make my first 6 figures? That means you got to hustle, you got to grind, you got to do it up. Am I at that $250,000 to $1 million range where I need to be thinking about systems and people, more so systems? And I would say if you're at that $250,000 to $1 million, you really want to focus on marketing, lead generation, qualifying, and getting like a predictable lead method. But once you get over that $1 million mark, really even that $2 to $3 million mark, but really about that mark, you really got to focus your effort on being a good leader.
Yeah.
All right. And then
that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah. You got to be
mad at Maxwell's. And I just know that for me.
Right.
I just know that for me to get to my next level, and I think everyone too, like from wherever you are, you have to keep getting better.
Right.
There's just some things you like, how like Kobe used to be like, there were players that just have more shared talent. He was saying even back in the day when he was in, when he was a teenager or whatever, there was one summer league he played and he scored no points. Kerry was just better.
Yep.
But he had to keep working on it again. And even in the league, when he was with the Lakers, like he would have, 3 to 4 a day workouts to get better, to work on his craft.
Yep.
So I think it's having the ability to self-rely and self-identify the areas that, like you said, you can become better. I think leadership is huge in all aspects. And as an entrepreneur in business or just in your regular life.
Yeah, because everything is like a reflection of you. Like your business is a reflection of you. Your relationships are reflections of you. I say this like on the money side. Like, it's really like your account balance, your credit score, that's just a reflection of your financial behavior. So your place in business is a reflection of like your lack thereof or your understanding of leadership. And sometimes we go through these ebbs and flows where we have to unlearn certain principles and relearn other ones and be okay and give ourselves grace. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur, you're your toughest critic, like do. And sometimes it's totally cool to slow down, right? Sometimes you need to slow down. Sometimes you got to blow up your business. Sometimes you got to just like, you know what, scrap all of that stuff I was doing before and let me do this new process and be okay with the, you know, with the new part of it. Because again, if you don't have the result that you want, then that's an opportunity for you to learn in that area. Right. And people aren't going to want to work with or get behind a vision or be around someone who's uncertain. They don't know what they're doing, whatever the case is. They need to be able to buy into something on your team perspective and your customer's perspective that they know that they can be a part of something greater than them. And they want to plug into that. And that requires leadership. It requires introspection, and it requires being transparent. In my opinion, you don't have to always be this, being authentic. Because if you're authentic about you, yourself, and transparent to a degree, I think you should be transparent about stuff. It makes it a lot easier about, okay, this is where we're going. This is where we are now. This is how I see you being a part of this. Do you see yourself being a part of it? Yes, I do. Okay, let's do it together. Like team, right? It's so important, man, because I know I'm kind of like on a little tangent here. If you look at Jordan, and if you guys haven't seen The Last Dance as an entrepreneur, I highly recommend watching. You know, it's good, man, because what that showed me as an entrepreneur is Jordan got his ass kicked from like, I want to say 84 to like 90. By the Pistons. He got his ass handed to him. Yeah. But he was the only person. He didn't have the team and he didn't have a coach. So here's the two gems here. One, find a mentor or a coach or someone who's been there, done that. Believe it or not, Phil Jackson did win championships, right? And was able to coach him. But then two, surround yourself with the right players in your team. Yeah.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
No, I'll say two more things. Kind of, you know, just to add on to that. Know when to get out the car with the wrong people.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like know when to get out the car with the wrong people. I would say that because if you don't, not only do you not know where you're going, you're being more influenced on that place where you don't even know where you're going.
Right.
You're gonna end up there like, yo, how'd I get here? And these ain't the people I need to be around.
Right.
So I would say that. And then the second thing I would say is change that environment. Mm-hmm. And that environment may be physical, where you might have to move. Like you moved from North Carolina to Atlanta.
Yep.
I moved from Boston to Los Angeles. Or it could be digital. Like go into a digital.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because you might not be in an area that you can physically move. So go into a digital space, right? Or switch up your routine. Maybe your routine was like, I'm in the house, I'm doing my thing, but my family's here. I'm the only one that's, wanting to grow. Maybe I need to go to a coffee shop every day.
Right.
You go to a library every day. Figure out what works for you, what you can afford, what's realistic, and put yourself in different environments. You know what I'm saying? That will help you grow. And that will keep you on a path to where you want to go, man. I realized the other day, I was with a friend of mine, and he was doing some weird stuff, bro. He was just doing weird stuff. And I was just like, I can't be around the dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's not wrong with him, but I was realizing
weird energy.
Yeah, I just realized what I was doing.
Right.
I'm like, even though I'm disciplined and I'm doing what I'm doing, there's absolutely no way that I could be here doing what I'm doing because the energy is not supportive to what I got going on. That's like if it could be broken down. Like let's say you're a student, you're at home doing your homework, and you got a parent that's just rowdy and they're just always screaming upstairs. They got a lot going on. TV's loud. Maybe just a lot going on. You can't really get no work done.
Right. Not gonna be able to.
No matter if you in your room with the door closed. You
right.
Can't get no work done. So I just realized in that moment, it's just, I think as you grow as an entrepreneur and just as a person using your leadership skills, your self-awareness and stuff like that, you were like, all right, let me just remove myself.
Right.
You don't really gotta say much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, if I'm gonna make $5 million, I can't be here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like it ain't gonna work.
Right.
So, man, this is really good. So
Those are two great additions.
right.
Yeah, those are real good additions.
so before we finish part one and then we'll preface to part two, I did say to you I wanted to kind of bring it back. So we was talking about, how you felt like as a man on that low.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel like as a man now with the success that you have and right now at this space in your life and what's going forward? Do you still have some challenges as a man? Do you feel better? Like, do you feel like you're meeting, your standard for, as a man for your life?
I would say yes and no. I would say yes. I would say I would say for sure from the outside looking in, yeah. Because, I've obviously achieved some stuff, helped a lot of people, can continue to help people. But what I've really realized in this stage of business is it ain't on me, bruh. Because what I mean by this is like, it's so easy to kind of get caught up on your own level of success or your own ego and thinking that it's you. This ain't me, man. This God, bro. So now it's like a matter of me really, really tapping in spiritually, man, because most of the time I'm pouring.
Yeah.
I'm pouring. And I'm cool with that. But really at this stage, the only place I can really get my source is God, fam.
So what's your spiritual tap in?
I gotta pray, I gotta meditate, man. Like, and I've been doing it even more. Like I just gotta meditate, I gotta pray, I gotta read the word. And I'm not as consistent as I should be. Yeah. But every time I get that little inner voice, it's like guiding me. It's the Lord guiding me. So I would say the bigger part of where I'm going and how I'm continuing to do it is just submitting to the Lord, bro, because I can't, if you're trying to use this ego to make some of the decisions, those decisions may be, they're going to be ego driven and they may not be sound decisions, which is why I was saying before, you got to slow down sometimes. You got to slow down, you got to listen. And you have to realize that, okay, since I'm becoming a better person, a better leader on a daily basis, I've got to know that the direction, that the purpose that God has for me, I've got to pursue and continue to stay on because I know what my purpose is. But sometimes when I got those questions, I got to go within, not go out. And sometimes what I've experienced is that I'll go out to all these outside things, buy these courses, do this, buy this, go to this mastermind. And the answer was within me the entire time.
The answer is always within you. We have all the answers.
Yeah.
We really do. The answers aren't here. Sometimes we need to go out to unlock those answers.
I would agree.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you got to go in and take advantage of what's around.
And I think when I say go in too, it's like it's going within, but that's my source that's tapped into the infinite. It's tapped into God, right? So I think that's a big part of it, like for sure. And staying on that track, and then just not going away from the basics. Do the basics. I have one of my cars at this exotic rental place here in
Ferrari?
The Ferrari. Yeah.
That's nice, by the way.
Well, appreciate you. So
I think when I seen your DM, so do you just got it? Right?
yeah, I just got it. Yeah, I just got it for my birthday last year.
Clean.
Appreciate you, bro. So, but this gentleman, the owner of the company, he's an 8-figure entrepreneur. He's in his business on a daily basis. And I'm not saying that I'm in my business on a daily basis too, but what it really made me realize was that he's already at the 8-figure stage in his business and he knows about the data. He texts me. This is a guy that knows, tons of celebrities, just a high level guy, but super down to earth because his focus is growing his company even more. And he's in the day-to-day business activities and he's not doing like the renting out the cars and verifying and all that. He's focused on how can I get this deal so every client who comes through gets PPF, or how can I secure this deal with the Hard Rock Hotel? How can I secure this deal with all of these higher level people? Like he said somebody will come and rent a car from him. They'll pay, it's $3,000 a day and they'll buy it for 90 days. Those are the type of clients he has.
Yeah.
Just what it showed me is that in business, like, if you're truly in your business, your goal should be to serve and maximize all the value. So that way, whenever you do decide to build that equity or build that value in your business, you can replace yourself with confidence and then just like truly exit. But if you're still in that business, make sure you maximize it with your strengths that you are good at, and delegate, find the right who's to do the hows in your business, right? And then just manage the who's.
Bro, part 2 gonna be good. I already know, man. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value from this. Definitely go back, because there was definitely some areas I feel like Kenney went deep, just even on the digital side. Like I said, the next one we're gonna go a little bit deeper into money. Is there anything you want to give the audience, or is there a way for them to tap in with you?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so you guys can just go follow me on Instagram. It's at Kenney Conwell. That's KENNEYCONWELL. It's the only one with the blue check. For some reason, I have a lot of fake pages, so I'm not gonna DM you about stuff. So follow me there. And then if you are an entrepreneur, specifically a digital or financial entrepreneur looking to scale using unsecured capital, click that link in my bio. I break down a really, really powerful process where I show you how to structure yourself, how to prepare yourself, look good on paper, so you can tap into using unsecured capital to fund some of the things that we talked about today. So if you need help with that, tap in, I got you. I'll walk you through step-by-step how to get that fundability and leverage the bank's money to scale your company.
And you guys have to tap into the next one, because we talked about different ways that you can leverage credit to start businesses or just provide more value, right?
Right.
So he got a whole breakdown. We talking about how you can launch your own podcast studio using credit.
Absolutely.
How you can launch your Airbnb business using credit. How you can get, maybe one of your dream cars or something. Kenny's gonna talk about all that and more.
Absolutely.
We'll go into like the financial foundations and building your house and securing your house. So definitely tap into that next episode. I promise it's gonna be worth it. Bro, appreciate you.
Absolutely, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a pleasure.
This was dope. It's been in the works. In the works for a while.
Yeah.
We got it done. This is a great landscape to get it done. This has been another episode of the Art Pursuit podcast. Brennan Boyd, Kenney Conwell. Make sure you guys follow him. Definitely take that free. It's a free
training.
Free training. Check out free training. Get all the information you need. We'll see you guys on the next episode, and especially on part 2. Let's get it.